Hi, welcome to Buckle book review of Covers of the Saturday Evening Post. Outstanding illustrations. It says America's favourite magazine. This book came out in 1998. It's in hardback, 300 pages. It's quite a sizable book, 300 pages in colour and, of course, a bit black and white all the way through, but colour predominantly. All the covers. You've got the lovely illustrations. You've also got the brilliant photography. It's just an amazing historical document. Just going through, seeing, you can see the way the world was changing, how the style's changing, and just some truly superb artwork. Yeah, the covers of the Saturday Evening Post, and you can see there, that one is from 1926, Norman Rockwell. See, so many famous artists produced work for that. And the one, Norman Rockwell again. Now, of course, there are lots of Norman Rockwell books. There are probably not many examples, sort of bigger format size. Now, because there's so many pages. I mean, literally, you've got 300 pages. You've got, obviously, 52 per year. It's a lot of years because it says here 1899 to 1969. Now, I assume it continued on beyond that. Now, I've only got 2 copies of this magazine, mainly 1961, that sort of period. And obviously lots and lots of different artists were involved. So I wish you could get more of them. Unfortunately, been to lots of book fairs. They occasionally turn up. Often they're quite expensive. And sometimes you see them on eBay. They're still quite expensive even there as well. Now, you've got some, obviously, you've got 4 on a page there. Obviously, that could not be carried through all the way through this book. Even at 4 per page, this book would be enormous. But you can see different sizes there. And it's done by decades. So you've got like 1910s, you've got the 20s, the 30s, 40s, etc. But then you've got, this is the size generally all the way through, the smaller size you can see there. And obviously that one's 1900s. And I don't think there's any, I don't know if they missed any months or weeks. I have no idea. But you've got there the 4th of July number. You can see even what's early on, obviously there was some colour there. Now, some of them, I mean, some of the illustrations are just absolutely brilliant. You can really see the changes in styles as you go through it, and you can see there. And it's got the dates as well as the artists. I don't know if any of them don't include the artists, but this one, George Gibbs, Guernsey Moore. Now, some of these I don't know. Frank X. Lineker. Just brilliant. And you've got here Catherine Richardson Wyman. Again, you can see the size. So how many? That's 16 on a page. Now, as you go through, you can see the style change. See all the way. And that's the thing I love about these sort of books. They're just absolutely brilliant. It's a pity, of course, it's not the full page. But in some ways, it's actually nicer to see them 16 on a page because you can sort of see, obviously, a nice, near enough a whole year on 1 or 2, 3 pages. I guess it is 3 pages for 1913. That would be, obviously, logical, 52 or so. And you can see then the next one there. And again, you can see the style. But sometimes you get this. Of course, for the decade, they actually put slightly bigger. So it slightly throws you at first. You actually look at 1924, 1925, then 1923. So they go slightly backwards there for some weird reason. But Saturday Evening Post, all of the 5 cents a copy. Actually, I don't know what the price was when it changed over the years. But then you go, of course, back small again. And again, you can see all the way there were 1776, but you can also see the fashions. Fashions are some of the things that are just fascinating to see. You can see, obviously, all the there. Let's go for a few more of the pages, and then we go into the 30s. And it gives a nice description, obviously, of the 30s as well. And you've got, look at that one. Some of the Christmas issues are absolutely amazing as well. I'm surprised in many ways they didn't do a section for the Christmas ones. That would have been nice to have a separate section as well, just to go through all the Christmas issues. And you got that, and again, back to slightly smaller format for the rest of the decade. But it's beautiful. I think it's just absolutely stunning. So more and more examples all the way. And of course, then you get the war. The war kicks in there, 1940s, and you've got obviously more pictures related to the war. And then, actually, the illustrations look stunning in the 1940s and 1950s. I think that was really, for me, my favourite time. I just love the 1940s ones. I mean, look at that one. Some of them, I mean, I don't know, they look like that one there, the New York one. Near enough looks like a photo. I mean, it isn't a photo, but it's really amazing. You've got some, obviously, humorous ones there. And you can just really see the world changing. Sort of, obviously, the American world. I mean, this is obviously I don't know if this magazine was readily available in the UK, if you could pick up copies, but certainly now you can obviously pick up the odd copy. You can see that into the 60s, and that was, 1950s I should say. They're 1950s, and you've got all the small ones there. Again, you can see all the style, the way the world was changing. Absolutely beautiful. Now, at some point, you probably start to notice more, obviously, photos. Yeah, we're getting into the photos at this point. You can see LBJ there, obviously Sophie Loren, etc. Now, that's one thing quite often. They don't include the details of who they are sometimes. You look at them and think, ooh, who's that, I wonder. Now, obviously, some of these people I do know. Obviously, John Glenn there. You have to quickly look over the cover. And, of course, sometimes the cover doesn't actually have a name. They just assume that, of course, that people know exactly who that person is. And you might not. You might not know who it is. Now, obviously, again, most of them were, by this point, were photos, which is busy because I really love the illustrations, but not all. You can see there's still one or two illustrations still in, but also you've got there, obviously, that one's The Strange Culture of the Motorcycle Gangs. Brigitte Bardot there. Brigitte Bardot, I Want to Live Forever, it says there. But you've still got occasional illustrations, and that all the way through to 1969. I love this. I really love these sort of books. It's such a pity that many other books do not have this sort of brilliant format. I would love to see some of the magazine. We, of course, got like the Vogue over here at Harper's and Queen, those sort of things. The Vogue one, I think, has got some, there are cover books of those, but not in this style where you've got every single cover. And also many other magazines, of course, that would be just brilliant to see, like the Radio Times ones, just to see every single cover in this sort of size of format. I mean, that would be just brilliant, just to scan through every single, or TV Times, or maybe other, obviously other magazines. And there's millions of magazines, of course, that would be nice to see in this sort of format. I love this. Whenever I see copies, do you know of any other books like this for other magazines? Please let me know in the comments below, because it is always fascinating to get these ones. Now, obviously, the Saturday Evening Post is obviously a more famous one. Pick this up, and you should be able to pick up copies. These are reasonably cheap, which is really surprising considering how brilliant the artwork all the way through. I mean, it's just so many, just, again, like I say, all the artists, I mean, just beautiful illustrations all the way through. Obviously not all superb, but most are just top quality illustrations, even though they are slightly small. But still, if you know of any other sort of books like this, now I've got one on the look, but it doesn't show the covers. It shows a few bits and pieces, but not many. And things like I say, Vogue magazine, but of course some of these magazines have lots of copies all around the world. So there's like Italian Vogue, there's a British Vogue, and so on. So it's very hard, I guess, to do that sort of thing. But it's like Tatler and all those sort of magazines. It would be nice to see those. But still, this is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, absolutely love it. Covers of the Saturday Evening Post.